Artanis, where do you have him?
Artanis. Artanis has a very significant problem with hit scan.
Yes, he does.
His only hit scan.
He also has a massive problem with everything.
Yes, that too. He does have a lot of things that can shoot up. That's great and all, but he's gonna have hit scan problems. He's gonna have AOE problems, sustained AOE problems. I have him from C to D.
All right. How about you, Twotuuu?
This might be a hot take, but I put him in F because he's bad against all three mutators.
I thought
he's so bad.
I thought it was a hot take the other way. No, you just went full.
I was worried that you're gonna say A.
Oh no. So no. So let's see. So if you are using P3, the Broodlings and the Outbreak units will just keep like making you bleed money. You're gonna keep losing resources because you're gonna lose them from fighting. Then when there are lots of Broodlings, you're gonna have to like either spin lot or storm them just to not die, and you're not even progressing. You're just like, this is the result of you attacking something or finishing off an attack wave. If you use Unbound Fanatics for P3, you're gonna run out of energy. They're good, they're great for AoE, but you're gonna run out of energy. If your ally doesn't push quickly with you, you're gonna die unless you're like able to summon High Templar and storm the PDDs or the nuke like precisely so that it dies before it lands. So I would say like P0 is better, but P0 has very little pushing power. So you're pushing with like Dragoons and Zealots, but you also have to defend at home. So your army's gonna be split, or else you're gonna be losing buildings from Outbreak or from the missiles. And if you only have one pylon, you might lose the pylon, you lose power to your structures. So you need extra pylons just to not lose to that. So the only reason why we did okay with Artanis Zagara is because we knew to push. But if your ally doesn't push and just waits longer, you're gonna die eventually.
No,
so I put him in F.
The real reason is because you're Twotuuu.
Yes.
I actually don't agree with F because for the simple reason that he doesn't actively help Amon by existing, not to the level of Vorazun on Black Death, or that sort of, or Stukov on Poopagators or Transmutation. He doesn't help. He doesn't help Amon to that degree, and also he does have solo bombardment at the very least. He can also kind of use the Archon dudes to help supplement the ally, and if nothing else, he can at least absorb some of the missiles instead of having them all head to your ally. So yeah, I think he's definitely E. Well, I would say actually I had him in D, but I'm very okay with E. I'm not so sure with F, but what do you think, Eviling? Is F okay for you?
I would be okay for E. F, okay, so I'm still going through the mental gymnastics of trying to see if he really deserves F. So, hence my name, let's play devil's advocate a little bit. So, if not P3, he does have Guardian Shell, but what does that get you? It doesn't protect you much against Missile Command. The only thing that it protects you from on Missile Command is the splitter missiles, which, I mean, is what it is. Outbreak, Alien Incubation helps you and your allies, sort of, kind of. Going after the missiles, as Twotuuu mentioned, your best bet is going to be warping in High Templar. Two would be sufficient, and then just trying to storm the nuke as it comes in. On the other aspect, if you're not P3,
what if you just
your orbital strikes.
What if
it doesn't
shield overcharge? What if you just shield overcharge your buildings when the nuke's about to hit? Will that save them?
That's a waste.
Yes, it is,
Big
but
time waste.
I know it's a waste. But will that save them?
It does what, 500 something damage?
I think it's
Depends how many points in shield overcharge you have. If you're maxed out on it, then yeah, you'll save it.
That's all I needed to know.
So you can do something. And another way to attack the nukes as they come in, phoenixes. Since they can attack while moving, if you can track the nuke as it's coming in, just get phoenixes on it. If you have, in my experience, 4 to 5, you can probably get the nuke within a reasonable time
Just
down.
spend your entire screen time on top of the nuke and not even care about pushing the objective. Yeah, that's how Artanis plays out.
Pretty much.
Pretty
and
much.
that warrants an E. So he has a way to do it, but all his ways are just janky. Keep in mind, so with all these PDDs flying around, they're just completely negating your attack power. So they're immensely reducing Artanis's low attack power as is.
So Twotuuu, are you convinced is E okay for you?
It's gonna end up as E anyways, because you're not gonna go F. But I'm just gonna say, like, he's a liability, because if he loses all his buildings, you lose. So
I
your
agree.
allies forced to defend him.
I agree on that end. That's definitely a yes for me. It just
Artanis is spending most of his resources fighting the mutators. He can't even do the map.
you're just trying to make me feel
bad at math.
You're just trying to make me feel better about myself, about how our game turned out. I felt like absolute trash in that game. Hey, at least I'm pushing the main objective, and I did draw. One more funny thing. I remember, Zeus, you can pull this up. I remember in our Season of Giving mutation, Stixbender recommended that I use a solo bombardment on attack waves to defend, because initially the solo bombardment focuses in a smaller area. Most of the shots go in the smaller area, so I can see the point. And I guess one thing that Artanis has going for him is that solo bombardment requires almost no skill to use. Just point and click. It clears a big base for you, which is quite.
I've been doing this math of like trying to figure out how many Archon dudes you have, while assuming that solar bombardment doesn't exist.
Yeah, solo bombardment is,
So
I think, a better reason to put Artanis in S. I just don't wanna. I just don't wanna justify with Drake. I'd rather justify with solo bombardment, because it's like a risk-free immobilization wave that gathers no Nautilus stacks for you.
although realistically, you probably want to use solar bombardment on wave defense.
Wave defense?
For offense, Archons are better than solar bombardment. For wave defense, solar bombardment is better than Archons.
So we save solar bombardment for waves? That's a novel concept to me. I usually use it on offense.
No, solar bombardment is definitely better for waves. It's all the damage is concentrated near the middle in a relatively small area, so the nice clumped up wave coming up the ramp just gets utterly vaporized. But if you just fired at the enemy base, you kind of like you vaporize whatever's in the middle of it and then tickle everything around that.
Sorry, Herman, what was that?
If you use solar bombardment for offense, it's probably just kill like some structures and the construct maybe. Yeah,
it's not very good to use offensively.
So
in general, solar bombardment is only a good offensive tool if you're sniping an objective. It's a good at smiting one single structure in the middle of it or killing waves. It's a pretty poor offensive tool outside of that. You use it for defense of giant waves, not for clearing bases.
But when Twotuuu and I played, he recommended what I initially thought of using the solar bombardment onto the bases. Are these mutators Twotuuu sufficiently different that for the Season of Giving one, it's better to use it on the attack waves, but for this one, it's better to use it on the main objective? Or is it just that?
I always use solar on bases because it's so wide.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Like, I will only use solar on attack wave if it's like 6/6 or higher.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I think I did bring that up during the tier list discussion on Season of Giving. What Stixbender mentioned is that the periphery damage isn't enough to quite kill the buildings off. so it's not as impactful as you think it should be, if I recall correctly. So I think we all
It's
have
gonna
him in
be- Yeah, E.
E.
He's gonna be E.
He's
E.
gonna be E. Even the birdies agree. Let's have him in E. Yeah, they agree. Oh no, those are sirens, not birds. Never mind.